for International Management and Business Management Studies. International Business and Management Studies, better. I'm going to teach you that first class, a kind of guest lecture for the online marketing course, because from next week on I will be replaced by a colleague of mine. But since he was not able to start this week already, I was asked to give you an introduction, to give you a kind of guest lecture. And that's what I grabbed together to show you and to share with you today. How many people of you are IBMS students? There's a whole lot. Are there no CE students in here? Because I expected some CE students to follow the minor as well. No?
They only have two to four courses for this minor.
Okay, they only take 2 of the 4. Are the students here are native Dutch speakers? Probably about half of you. Oh, only a few. Oh, that's nice. Because we have about 60% of Dutch speaking students now in the first year. But okay, we welcome all of you. The group is a little bit too big to give you the opportunity to present yourself to me, because then 90 minutes are gone. So I will start right now. First of all, I would like to start with the term. And that's what I like always to do, because very often I have seen in business and in studies that we are playing around with words without really sometimes knowing the deeper meaning of it. And I would like to know, and just raise your hand, what it for you means marketing and what it for you means online. And I'm pretty sure that people might have different ideas about these terms. So what's marketing for you? Nobody raises his hand, I just want. Lady over here, what's marketing for you?
Marketing is the things that you do to increase yourself and to do your business, and to make the sales and raise money, have money, to I don't know how to say
things you do, you say, activities you have to take.
Yes.
I jot down some terms. It's sales related. Yes. It's money related.
Yeah.
Because by selling you want to make money. And I heard something interesting, maybe it was unconsciously. I heard you use the word business. Yeah, let's do it like that. And I heard you saying yourself. That's pretty interesting. Put a spray around it because I get back to it in a few minutes. Someone else, lady over there. Let's focus on the term marketing. Online is for later on.
Yeah, it's marketing is about writing a business plan when you try to sell something, and you have to know what's your market.
Again, I underline here, sales. Gentlemen, sir?
Marketing is to help you to sell your products, writing all your products in different categories.
Okay. Different product categories. Okay, that's a good one. Product categories. Okay, fine. Lady.
I think it's a combination of selling strategies.
Selling strategies. That's a very expensive word, especially the second one, strategies. Might be even more difficult to define strategies than to define online marketing. Sir? Yeah, you.
I think marketing is the way of life for a company. It's more of a differentiation to make your own company to be different with other companies.
Different. Differentiate. company from the other. There's a term, a three-letter term, that is very often used if we talk about differentiating your company or your product from others. Anyone knows what I'm referring to? Sir? Just marketing. What's for you? Actually, there's no long answer. I mean, you have been studying for quite a few years now, so you must have an idea about what's marketing for you.
Well, for
Well, what is it? If I offer you a marketing job, what do you think of? What do you think? What kind of job are you going to do, or to be responsible for? Would you like to work in a marketing department? Yes? What is it that you would like to do? What attracts you? What fascinates you? Just one thing. One word. Think it over because I get back to you. Okay? I'll make a tour. I'll make a U-turn to get back to you. So you have time to think. Sir?
What is marketing?
Yeah.
The step between the production, the creation of the product and the selling, and tool to help the seller differentiate the product.
Creation. To sell. By the way, who do you sell to?
This is one
To?
Sorry.
That's fine.
The customer or to other businesses.
Okay, that's important to know. Selling to a customer. If it is a person like you and me, very often it's called an end customer, an end user. But very often, companies are selling their products or even their raw materials to other businesses. We call it B2B business or B2C business. And from B2B and B2C business, you can easily derive B2C marketing and B2B marketing. Because convincing a customer like you and me is completely different from convincing a customer who is actually representing another company. I mean, if you want to convince me to buy one car, that's completely different from convincing me if I'm working for the HZ, I'm responsible for the fleet of the HZ. And I am responsible for buying maybe about 20 cars a year. It's completely different. What else? Sir?
Marketing is all about developing.
You're lucky, eh? It's your lucky day.
It's about developing brands on a more global scale than
Brands? Global scale? Does it have to be a global scale?
on a more global scale than sales per se.
Okay, it's very interesting. Give me a brand, just call one.
A brand?
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Microsoft is a brand indeed. And if you buy Microsoft software in America, how is it called? Made by Microsoft. And if you buy it in Europe?
Still called made by Microsoft.
And if you buy it in China?
Made in China.
Excuse me? Tell me, lady.
I don't know, made in China.
No, but what's the brand name?
Yeah, still Microsoft.
Still Microsoft. Is it always like that?
Not always.
No, it's important. Do you have an example? Maybe it does not pop up in your mind right now, but there are exactly the same products that have different brand names in different regions, different languages, different countries. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's not famous, it's not so famous, it's the chewing gum brand.
Okay, yeah, chewing gum brand.
In France, we have one brand whose name is Frilon.
Filon?
Frilon.
Filon?
And I was last 3 months in Czech Republic, and I
Yeah.
see that in Czech Republic the name is Orbit.
And it's exactly the same taste?
It's the same taste, it's the same packaging, it's the same advertisement in TV. And
But only in the advertisement they changed only the name.
Yeah, but it's exactly the same
Same video clip?
same video clip and the same actor.
Yeah, same actor even. Yeah. Might be that they
Only
changed the
change
video
the
clip.
name.
Okay, that's good. Freelon and Orbit.
Yeah.
Orbit, it rings a bell. Freelon, I don't know. Some more examples?
The Ola ice cream brand.
Hola, that's a good one. Maybe, I don't know, Aalst, you are from Holland?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so, because you give that example. Outside Belgium, Holland, I don't know if Hola is known.
I know in Turkey has a different name, in France, Spain, everywhere.
That's a good one. Others?
Axe Deutschland.
Excuse me?
The Axe Deutschland.
The what?
The Axe Deutschland or Roxana Deutschland.
I don't know it.
It's a Deutschland, but they say here Roxana Deutschland, but in England it's called Shure. It's the same.
Yeah.
The same brand.
So that's part of marketing as well. Is deciding on under which name do I bring my product or sometimes my service to the market. It's as old as businesses, I guess, because when I was a little boy, I always was surprised that some people that drove a Vauxhall. You know Vauxhall? You know that? What is Vauxhall?
Yeah, it's been named for local. In England it's called
In England.
Vauxhall.
So then in England, people that were driving a Vauxhall, which was exactly the same as what we call in Belgium an Opel car, and I don't know in Holland if you call it Opel or Opel. Some people call it Opel as well, but exactly the same car, just with on the back side of the car a different name. I just want to zoom into it because it's very important indeed how you brand yourself on a global scale. And it dates back from long before the online era that we are doing business in today. By the way, a brand is maybe even more difficult than defining marketing. What's a brand actually? Yeah?
The identity of the company.
The identity, and what more? What makes up the identity of a product?
I think that the brand itself can influence a lot of people. Back in my country, when people usually...
And you are from?
I'm from Indonesia.
Yes.
And usually people want to buy a mineral water, they said Aqua. Aqua brand is a brand from Danone.
Yes.
Yeah, and if people want to buy a mineral water, they always said Aqua, even though the seller gives them another brand, but they don't care.
Then you have reached paradise as a brand, if that's the case. I didn't know for Aqua in Indonesia, but it's a good example. An example nearby home is Spa in Holland. Many people, they order a Spa, but Spa is a mineral water from Belgium. Is the famous red and blue bottle. But even for ordering just like in Indonesia a water, gas water in a restaurant, you can just order a Spa. Are there other examples of brands that make it completely? I mean that people are just using the brand name instead of the product name.
In France, for a cooler, phone case, you know where you put your food to be cool.
Yeah.
We usually say Frigidaire, which is the name of the brand who makes these things.
Okay.
And the real official name would be Refrigerator, but people usually say Frigidaire.
For whatever brand they buy.
Yes.
They use that. And there are more. If you would think a little bit more, you will, if you walk to the Albert Heijn, for example, you might look for a certain product and then realize that, hey, actually, that's the brand name. It's not really the product name, but that's actually what companies try to do, of course. Okay, I should talk less and go faster, otherwise I lose my presentation here. Last word is for you. I promised you. Marketing.
speak more English.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay, because at least that is important. Okay, where you are from? Okay, tell me in Spanish. ¿Qué quieres decir para ti, marketing?
Marketing es una forma para vender, para conseguir dinero, para ganar más dinero.
It's what I see here. Selling, getting money.
Yes.
Okay. Now one question before I go on. Is that all that marketing is about?
Research. Marketing.
Research.
Customer research.
Okay. I was jumping to here. I was thinking about product research as well. But indeed, customer research. And I would like, who said this? Creation? Yeah? This is as important, of course, as customer research. Because you might come up with excellent products that nobody's waiting for. You might have done a very good customer research, you know exactly what they want, but then you realize that you're not able to realize it, to manufacture it, maybe even to invent it. Or that you're not able to realize the dreams of your customer that you have discovered in the customer research within the budget that the customer is willing to pay for it. Before, and now I talk about the beginning of the 19th century, 20th century, excuse me, we had a very much a push economy at the beginning of the industrialization. And a good example are car manufacturers. Car manufacturers, they just produced cars and they pushed them to the market. And they decided on what model and they decided on what color. And they knew that the demand was big enough. So Ford is an excellent example for it. The first Ford T cars, they were all black and they didn't worry about any other color. And you could tell them, I would like to have a white. Yeah, but to rearrange our assembly line, to produce your white car in the same time, with the same money, with the same energy, I can produce 20 other blacks, which I can easily sell. So they kept on for a while producing black cars. Nowadays we are far more in a pull economy. Maybe something that you should keep top of mind as well if you are busy with marketing. Push versus pull, which means that far more companies doing serious efforts to discover what is it that the customer is wanting, what is he waiting for, and what is he willing to pay for, and how much is he willing to pay for it. Maybe you have the wildest dreams about a mobile phone that can do everything for you, from taking pictures to making your homework, but if it costs you about, let's say, 5,000 euro, maybe you might not be willing anymore to buy it. Push versus pull means that you start in the pull economy from the customer. You find out what is it that the customer needs, what are his needs, and then you are trying to make his dreams come true. In a push, or in a push, I wrote pull versus pull, that's not correct, of course. It must be push versus pull. In a push economy, you are in a way creating the needs. Nobody was driving cars at the beginning of the 20th century. But by producing them, by bringing them to the market, people saw other people driving cars and they wanted to drive cars well. And the need was created. And actually that still goes on in less industrialized countries or less developed countries. And for example, that's why Tata Motors in India, still nowadays, they can easily sell the small budget cars by just producing them and bringing them to market. Because there are millions of people still with the need, I want to drive a car before I die. So not too much options that you can choose yourself for the budget Tata car, like you can do, for example, for the luxury Mercedes-Benz car here, sold in Europe. What I miss here is and I speed up a little bit because we only have 90 minutes, is apart from selling and creating and doing research, I was very happy that I heard the customer. I heard more business and money and sales. Is the whole communication with your customer about your products, about yourself, about the company, about what you're doing, about what you're standing for, about why you are making these products, how these products can fill a need at the customer side. So the whole communication process. And if there's something that is really essential in the online era that we are living in all now, is communication. Who's not on Facebook? Raise your hand. What do you do on Facebook? Communicate. And it was at the beginning of this century that some clever boys, they already wrote the Clue Train Manifesto, in which they stated that the online marketplace is a conversation. And I already believed them when I read it first time, but I had no idea at that moment as well how it would materialize. I had no idea about social media by then. If not, I would be Zuckerberg now and not Peeters, but that's not the case. I mean that some other very intelligent minds, they picked it up as well and they materialized it. And that's where the Google comes from, that's where the Facebook comes from, that's where the Twitter comes from. In that sense, these online software applications, they help you to communicate. And what do we see? And I think that Facebook is a very clear example about it, that people love communicating with each other, but they spend a surprisingly amount of time as well in communicating with brands, in communicating with companies, in communicating about products. They even, if not selling products, they sell products, they even promote products for free. I have a good example of it with regard to Pinterest at the end of this lecture. But I would like to ask you, who has never sent or forward a post that was product related? I bought that watch, or I went to an event or to a concert. And actually what you're doing at that moment is making promotion for that concert. We never did. One person.
It depends.
It depends.
If you say like, I went to this concert, you're really promoting.
You actually are promoting the band.
But never on purpose, because I like on Facebook, I never like stuff, or posting on Twitter, fashion company, I never do that.
Okay, and what's having the most influence on me, you think? The like button, or that you say awful concert? Or great concert?
What's your personal opinion is most influence?
Indeed, your personal opinions. And that's why Facebook is so-called free. Because they sell your personal opinions. And I have not seen it yet in the Netherlands, I have not seen it yet in Europe. But in other countries, what you write on Facebook, the opinions you post, might be used in promotional messages. For example, let's take the virtual example of that watch. You have posted on Facebook, great watch I bought, bargain price, I love it, something like that. And then, gentleman over there, you are looking for a watch. We know what you're looking for because you type in watch. And we know that you are a friend of her on Facebook. It might be that her picture pops up with her comment on the site of that watch brand. And that's what Facebook is trying to do. Due to legal restrictions, it's not up and running yet in Europe, but that's the way that they want to head on to. If they cannot make money out of this, they will have to try to find another solution. Because they, at the end of the day, have to make money as well. And that's why they say sometimes, if you don't pay for it, you are the product. I mean, your opinion is what is sold by Facebook to make money. Who's paying for your comment? You are looking for watches, or all you are looking for watches. All you, these are all friends of you. From today on you have 30 more friends on Facebook. These are all friends of you, looking up watches. You bought a watch, very happy with it. You even shared it with the world. Who's paying for that opinion of her? Do you get any money from Facebook? No. Who's paying Facebook for keeping the system up and running? Which company?
The watch company.
The watch company, of course. The watch company is analyzing the sales after adopting Facebook opinions. And they might realize, hey, since we have a contract with Facebook and we can gather all these opinions about our watches and use them in promotional messages, we have seen a boom in sales. Well, that's worth paying Facebook for. And that's where the money comes from. That's part of the business model of Facebook. Okay, what about marketing? That marketing is very much, apart from selling and creating the products and doing research, about communicating. And you communicate with the customer, don't forget this, when you try to convince the customer of the qualities of your product. But it might be that the customer is looking for you as well afterwards. It's much more easy today than before. When he's complaining about the product, when he's having a question, when maybe he's just asking for when is the next version coming up of that watch. That you have a listening ear. That's very important. And we see that in the online marketing, and now I'll make the bridge to online, far more from talking to listening. It's very easy to talk. We have been trained in talking in marketing related issues for decades. Blah, 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 blah. Push, 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 push. But people do like that. Don't want to hear it anymore. Unless they initiate conversation, then they're very willing and very happy if you have a listening ear. And if you can fast, give them a reliable answer. Now, what is online? That's online. This computer is connected, even wirelessly, with a router over there. But what's online? What more? That's online. I think you all agree. I will call phone calls and SMS messages online communication as well. Who's wearing a smartwatch? You are? It's a smart watch. You can go online with the watch. You can check the calendar. You will be warned when is your next training session. No. Smart watches are these that Apple and Samsung are battling for now. And they will be an accessory maybe to a mobile phone. Maybe in the future they will even replace them. We'll see. But that's is online as well, of course. And you can imagine if you want to communicate with a customer through a laptop, via an iPad, via a mobile phone, or through a watch, it will be different. And not only because of the size of the screen. The laptop you have maybe 2 hours a day available, the iPad 4, the phone 10, and a watch maybe 24. That will change the communication in the way that you communicate with the customer as well. But what I would like to stress, and nobody believes me, I've been telling this for years now, but I'm happy to see that it is happening at the end. Everything is going online. Everything is going to be connected. From this phone to that watch that I'm talking about, to the router, to that camera, to the door, to your car, to the entrance hall of your room or the apartment that you're living, your student card, your keys, your shoes, your pacemaker if you one day need one, the projector, the whiteboard, everything is going to be connected. So it means that there will be millions of channels to link people with each other and millions of channels that marketeers will have available to get in touch with their customers. Questions so far? Because I'm the bad marketer now, I'm talking too much and listening too little. Oh, that's small. Come on. Okay. Back to the presentation. I would like to make a difference between two types of marketing. It's outbound marketing. Something that you have to keep in mind after this introductory lecture is the difference between outbound marketing and inbound marketing. First, the outbound. Outbound marketing is the one that's initiated by the producer or the seller. For example, an ad on the television. You're not making the ad. The producer, the manufacturer, maybe the marketing agency is doing that. And it's targeted at a customer or at a segment. Old-fashioned marketeers, they still like to think in terms of segments. Young people, Europeans, Chinese, elder people, people with a high income, people with a low income, bikers, car drivers, sportmen, sport women, people who like having a beer, people who like having wine. I mean, you can think of millions of segments of people. You can even combine them. I want to know people who like biking and having a beer. I like to know young people with a high salary. I want to know young people with a high salary living nearby the coast. You can think of millions of segments. And it depends on the products or the services that you want to sell them. It depends on the needs that you have discovered with this group of people that they share and that you want to give them an answer to. How can you do outbound marketing? A few very much used channels or ways or techniques. You can be just called. The classic call centers. They call you and they ask you, do you already have an insurance? No, I don't want. Do you really don't want? No, I'm not interested. But I would like to suggest that kind of phone calls. Sometimes by SMS. It's very little in Belgium, it's a little bit more in Holland. In other places it's very often that you get an SMS. SMSs are now very much related to positioning systems. You walk in New York, for example, it's very often that it's midday, noon, you might be hungry, you're walking past by the McDonald's, and you get beep beep, an SMS. Hey, there's a discount on McDonald's. Hey, where's McDonald's? I'm lucky. No, they are lucky, of course. Because the SMS has been sent to you because you passed by at noon or in the evening hours. Cabs use it as well in New York. On the top, on the rooftop of the cab, you have kind of big iPad, like I'm the cab, this, I'm driving. And it's changing all the time, the advertisements, depending on where the cab is located. If it is in front of the McDonald's, you will see a McDonald's discount. If it is in front of another store, you will see the discount of another store. And so the advertisement is changing depending on where the cab is located. So that the people who see the cab always see the advertisement of the shop on the opposite side of the road. This for phone calls, SMSs, emails. I'm waiting till they die. I hate emails. Because I believe there are nowadays much more effective platforms that cost you far less time to communicate with the people that you need to communicate with, students for example. But still, 98% of all mails sent over the world are spam, are promotional messages. You don't recognize it anymore because the spam filters are working pretty well nowadays. But they're still there. And they are mainly filtered out by your mail server. Banners, you know the banners. You're surfing on a website, you're looking for concert tickets. On the right hand side you see a skyscraper that is promoting an event that might be within your interest sphere as well. Paid keywords. What are paid keywords?
If you're searching for some word, some company pays to be on top of the rankings.
Can you give an example?
From browsing for a new car, like Mercedes gave Google 10 euros to be the top site at your search results. They will pop up on the top.
Yeah, that's it actually. I want to buy a new car. I just type in car and I see Mercedes popping up, or BMW or whatever. It's not by accident. Is because the car manufacturer has paid the platform, Google in that case, to show their search result or their ad first. Hyperlinks is a little bit like ads, a little bit more sneaky, because we have discovered that people, they avoid the colorful ads, but they less avoid the hyperlink. So Mercedes might be clicked more if they just write new Mercedes car now on discount price than instead of a big advertisement. Hyperlinks might be used in blogs as well. People who are writing articles, and there are many men and women writing about fashion, and of course there will be a lot of brand names in these kind of articles. Well, if you refer to that brand in your blog, and someone really is going to that online shop and buying something there, you get a commission. Affiliate marketing is another word. I could have used that as well here, affiliate marketing. Related to blog posts, you have sponsored articles. Sometimes you have articles very often about technology. For example, you want to know everything about the newest Apple. You want to know what processor is it using. And then you see that this kind of articles might be sponsored by Intel or by another processor manufacturer. So you get a very good article, good reading article for free. It's not entirely for free. It's paid by the processor manufacturer. And very often you see at the end or at the beginning of the article. This article has been brought to you by Intel, or this article is sponsored by Philips. And in-app advertising. What's in-app advertising? Are there gamers among you? Who's gaming? So you must know what in-app advertising is. Especially if you pay for free or want to pay for free. Can you explain?
It's banners or advertising, which sometimes it's also video which open. For example, when you are looking for video on YouTube, sometimes you don't know why you have this advertisement is coming first to the video, or when you are paying an iPhone or Android application, you are running on the application, and sometimes every 5-10 minutes you have this banner which appears when you have to close it.
Then you're lucky if you can close it. Then you're lucky. Sometimes you can't, you have just to wait. If you start a new YouTube video, more and more videos on YouTube, maybe if you realize as well, you have to wait 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds before you can skip the advertisement or you watch it completely. And then the video that you wanted to see will start. That's a kind of in-app advertisement as well. But indeed on mobile phones it might pop up somewhere and you can skip it or you have to wait. And very often it's related to the premium business model, which means that you get it for free, the game or the application, but you are expected to watch or to listen to the advertisements. For me, the most annoying one that I know is, and they convinced me to pay, that's even worse, is that one, the Spotify one. If you go to Spotify, and this is a paid version, that's why you won't see it. You get here in the left-hand corner an advertisement. That's fine. I'm listening to Spotify. I'm not watching Spotify. But every 10 minutes I have to listen to a promotional message as well. So if I connect it to the home audio system, for example, every 10 minutes I get the same advertisement about an internet provider in Belgium. It's so annoying that if you listen very often to Spotify, you are willing, that's what I try to do as well, of course, that you are going to will for pay for it. That's in-app advertising as well. This can be very sneaky, by the way. If you will see the World Cup football in Brazil, and you are from, I guess, about 10 different countries here in the classroom, imagine that you are all in your home country watching the same play, the same game. And around the pitch, you see lots of advertisements. Well, it might be that all of you see different advertisements. That even in real time, the boards around the pitch are virtually changed depending on the country that you are in at that moment. So that the Chinese, they will see a lot of Chinese advertisements, people from Indonesia will see others, and people from Holland will again see others. Maybe here it will be about Heineken. In Indonesia, I don't know what beer is most famous there, or what other drinks that, the other drink you called? Aqua? It might be Aqua. In China it might be, I don't know. So, yeah, that's for China? Yeah? Another drink. Baijiu.
China.
Baijiu.
Yeah.
Okay. So outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is what you push out of your company. It's what going out. A lot of money is paid for it, for example, to marketing agencies. It's the message that you want to scream out loud. What we see in the online environment is, however, that it's less and less effective. That people do not want to listen to you all the time, they want to be listened to. That's important. They don't want to listen to you all the time. If you are the marketers, they want to be listened to. And that's where inbound marketing comes in. It's initiated by the buyer or by the potential customer. And this target and the producer, the seller, and I could add fellow, can you please wait eating, please? No, I really don't like people eating in a room. If you want to have a drink, it's fine, but not eating, please. Target and the producer, the seller, or fellow consumers. Because what we have learned in the online era is that people learn a lot from each other. And students can learn a lot of each other, but people talk a lot about cars, about computers, about pictures, about clothing, about whatever, and they even help each other a lot. If you have a problem with your computer, if you cannot reach a certain website, if you cannot get a game installed, very often the answer is brought to you by another consumer. So I should add fellow consumers here. More or less the same, not more or less, partly the same channels, but what we see is this. Very strong focus on social media. You can fill in an online form that goes to the producer or to the manufacturer, but we see more often video channels like Vimeo and YouTube where people just post something. And actually, it's your responsibility as the marketer, as the producer or the manufacturer, to find it. A hell of a job. And to react on it, or not to react, or to have someone else react on it. I will give you some examples later on. A video channel like YouTube, actually it was a kind of start of social media. We did not call it a social medium by then, when it popped up about a couple of years ago. The term social media was far more used when Twitter and Facebook got more popular. But you see a lot of conversation going on this media. They are not at all initiated by the producers, but they better listen to it. And they better try to find out what are people talking about, what do they say about our products, what do they say about our service, about the company. What can we learn from it? What can we do better? And the comments that people leave. Lots of comments on Facebook, on YouTube and so on. You might ask yourself, if you're a marketer, do you have to participate in it or not? I mean, if I see a video on YouTube about my product, shall I write a comment? Or shall I not do that? Very important question. How do I participate? When do I participate? And what do I write or what do I comment if I have decided that there's need to do so? So inbound marketing versus outbound marketing, where more and more in the online life, the stress, the emphasis is on the inbound marketing. I'm going to give you some examples, as I said, about what online marketing might be. They are not exhaustive. I'm very sure that my colleagues from next week on will come on with much more examples. At the end of the course, I'm going to hand out a little assignment as well. Probably you will get more as well from my colleague in the coming weeks. But that all together should give you a pretty good insight about what online marketing is all about. I love trying to find recent examples all the time when I'm driving, when I'm working, when I'm reading, when I'm playing, when I'm getting to grab a coffee in the bookshop. I saw one. I'm going to try to show you. We were talking about that watch, and while I was waiting for the coffee, I was going to the newspaper, and let's see. If I can show you the picture that I shot just right now. No, it's not here. I shot it with my camera. It should have been uploaded automatically to my Dropbox, but apparently it didn't. Anyway, it was a picture of full page in the newspaper about a smartwatch which was too heavy. That many consumers who paid a very high price because it's a new product, who are wearing it, they are walking like that by the end of the day because they want to put it off, of course, because they paid so much money for it, to show it. But showing it gets very hard at the end of the day because it's too heavy. Now, if you're a producer, if you're a manufacturer, you better listen to these comments. Now it's in the newspaper, but you can be for sure that people made videos of it. You can be for sure that lots of comments have been made about it on different websites, on different fora. And what's even more important, the customers themselves very often come up with suggestions or solutions. So if you can learn from your customers, you get research. Somewhere here was research regarding creation for free. Instead of paying engineers tens of euros a month, tens of thousands of euros a month, you better listen to your customers, because they are at the end the ones who know best. This is an example. Back to the slideshow, to give you some other examples. Just a little test. What's this? This is a blog. Here I see some ads. One for booking tickets, one for downloading something. Inbound or outbound marketing. This could be, in a real test, a true-false question. Is this inbound marketing true or false? If you have the correct answer, you get 1 point. If you have the wrong answer, you lose 1 point. If you do not answer, you don't gain, you don't lose. Is this inbound marketing? Raise your hand, yes or no. This is just a screenshot from a website. Something about an author who is writing about his book. He has written a book about online marketing. But on the right hand side of the blog page, I see 2 ads. Is this inbound marketing true or false? Who says yes, this is true, this is inbound marketing? Who says yes, this is inbound marketing? Raise your hand. Stand up. Stand up. I want to see you here. 3 people. Okay. Who is not daring to give an answer? Stand up, please. So all the others say this is false. This is not inbound marketing. Yes, it's false. Because these messages are pushed to that website by the seller of these tickets, by the one who is responsible for the downloads. Outbound. It's initiated by the seller. Not an easy one.
Yes, but
is this inbound or outbound marketing?
excuse me, just for the previous screen.
Yeah.
It's also because you were looking about a book maybe about online marketing, that you had social media marketing and social media monitoring for customer service. There is a real link. It's a kind of
course there's a link. Because I know that these people who are interested in reading that blog article might have some interest to come to London by the 23rd of October for taking part in that social media marketing conference.
Yeah.
If I would advertise here, for example, for diapers, then there's a very slim chance that people having little kids here who are reading it. There might be some, but the chances are very limited. So diapers is not a good ad here. The social media marketing conference is. But the essence is, the crucial part is, it has been pushed to this spot here on the initiative of the seller or the organizer of that conference. Therefore, it's outbound marketing. The other example, this is something you know for sure. I have just looked up on Google, I searched for online marketing books. I see here ads related to online marketing books. Google is fair enough to tell us these two are ads. Outbound or inbound marketing? Outbound marketing, why?
Because it's the people from this website who paid Google.
Indeed. It's Quero Media or Lynda.com who have paid Google a certain fee to have their websites promoted for anyone who is searching on online marketing books in Google. So outbound marketing. Now we go to some other examples. United Breaks Guitars is a clip on YouTube. Gonna check if I can play it from within the presentation. If not, I go to. Oh, that's nice.
Flew United Airlines on my way to Nebraska. The plane departed Halifax, connecting in Chicago's old fair. While on the ground, a passenger said from the seat behind me, "My God, they're throwing guitars out there." The band and I exchanged a look, best described as terror, at the action on the tarmac, and knowing whose projectiles these would be. So before I left Chicago, I alerted 3 employees who showed complete indifference towards me.
Okay, we're gonna stop here. Everyone recognizes this, of course. It's plain. What is United standing for? United? United Airlines, indeed. Who's the singer? You might not know him, but in America he's quite famous. Country band, country singer. Is he working for United Airlines? No, definitely not. What happened? What's the context of this video clip?
Like, yeah, I already know the story. But,
You know the story?
Yeah, like they were sitting in the plane and they saw the employees of the airport that they were throwing with their guitars and not just handing them with care. So they contacted the stewards on board the plane, so they were employees, but they didn't care or didn't listen. Then they contacted the company, also didn't listen, so they wrote this song to bring to the attention.
Yeah. Now what happened is indeed exact story. You see what happens with your guitar. You arrive with your band in a new city where you're having a gig that same night. You can't play because your guitar is broken. You complain. Nobody is listening to you. It's your responsibility. You complain to 3 people. You keep it within the company. It's inbound marketing, by the way, because it's something that comes into the company. The complaint is initiated by the one who is complaining, by the guitar player in this case. And then United Airlines made a fabulous mistake. Who was aware about what happened? Maybe some people who were sitting nearby the window on the plane, the 3 employees, and the band. Who is now aware about what happened? At least 5 million people. So guess what? What's the damage of having 5 million people enjoying this video clip? Is that damage higher than just paying for each band member a new guitar? What's the best solution?
Yeah, of course, but pay the guitars.
You better service them well, because that costs you far less than the lost reputation that has been caused by this video clip. And that's the power of the internet, that we call it. That's the power of the online customer. If you do not listen to your customer, if you do not take inbound marketing serious, you run into troubles, for sure. Another example. Another example. This is my daughter, and during the holiday last August, we ended up, a little bit by accident, but I enjoyed it very much, in the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart. Why is this here? To tell you, because we were making a trip from Belgium to Italy and over Germany, and we returned home. And I didn't want to pay for internet nowhere. But sometimes I was looking if I could post some pictures to the grandparents via a free Wi-Fi network. Probably hard to find. Until I stepped into the Mercedes-Benz Museum. It was even advertised. Free Wi-Fi here. Send an SMS to this number and you get your username and password to log into a free Wi-Fi network. And I thought, that's cool. That's not just cool, that's very smart. Why is that so smart?
Because you have the free Wi-Fi to post your pictures, to promote the brand of the car, the museum, or what you are looking for in the space.
There are thousands of visitors every day who are promoting Mercedes-Benz for free. On Facebook, on Twitter, on their blog sites. Because every time you see people making pictures, and half of these pictures they are sent straight to the internet. Is this inbound or outbound marketing, by the way? Very difficult one.
It's outbound because they are initiating it by providing free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I should classify it as outbound, but now a virtual example. Imagine that someone says, I posted on Facebook, and someone comments, a very rich person, let's say the king of Saudi Arabia, comments on my Facebook post, and says, how much for that car? Is that inbound or outbound marketing? Over there in the corner, the question of the king of Saudi Arabia. I want to have 20 of these. Inbound or outbound marketing?
That's not because it's not marketing.
So
we said that's a nice car, then it would be inbound marketing.
If you want to buy one as well.
Yeah, it's not like delivery.
I give you another example. This was pretty virtual. But very, very many people, they buy something because Lady Gaga bought it too. That's actually the same. Lady Gaga might comment on my post, I want to have 20 of these. Google Plus, in the margin of this, had a good takeoff. And what did they do is, they were promoting every week another celebrity that was making use of Google Plus, until the Dalai Lama they used. U2, Bono of U2 they used. Sportman they used. They were just posting, I'm using Google Plus. The same could happen here if people refer to blogs or to articles or to posts. It gets inbound marketing and influences a lot the readers. Probably the King of Saudi Arabia is not following me, but the technique behind or the idea behind is inbound marketing. It gets even more interesting, and now I have to speed up a little bit after this, because Facebook is logging everything. Imagine, and this makes it less virtual. It might sound virtual, but it's real, what I'm going to say now. I post this picture. 20 of my friends, they give comments about something they think about Mercedes cars. 2 of them, within the 3 months that follow, are searching on Google for cars. It might be that the exactly same car pops up. And that's real. Because Facebook has informed Mercedes, that person, if you recognize it, if he's searching on the internet, if you can make the link, know that last 2 years they were very happy about that car or another car. And that's what happens all the time, and that's actually the crucial part of the business model of Facebook. So I agree that the whole infrastructure that was offered to tweet and to post on Facebook is outbound marketing, but all the reactions that follow, that's inbound marketing. Another example. Life Help. On one.com, they are really attending this Life Help 24 hours a day. You can just go there and within a few seconds you're chatting with someone. Inbound or outbound marketing. The infrastructure, you can say, is part of outbound marketing, but the conversation, let's stick to the conversation. Who initiates the conversation? The
person who's asking
yeah.
this conversation.
The potential customer, very often potential customers. So inbound marketing. Who has read this? Who knows John McCain, by the way?
Not personally, but
not personally.
But he was a former candidate to be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
In the 2008 election, and now he's a senator.
What happened is that some newspapers, they saw that he was playing a poker game while the discussion about bombing or not bombing Syria was going on in the Senate. And then he reacted in a very clever way, much more clever than United did. He made the practical joke of it. Now what's he doing? Is that inbound or outbound marketing? It's inbound. He is now the producer of himself, and that's why I liked this at the very beginning of the class. Yourself. What we see more and more in the online world, we are branding ourselves as well. We are our own brand, and we have to take care about our own reputation. And he did it excellently well here. He saw the reactions on the internet and the newspapers, on the newspaper sites, and he reacted like this. You get it? One more example?
So why is that? It was inbound marketing. Why is it inbound marketing?
He is the brand John McCain.
So
People were complaining about John McCain, and he reacted to the complaints.
But I thought it would be inbound if someone else would react and say, yeah, it was right what you did.
That's what someone else,
no, because
the journalists and the people on the internet.
But that is only if you know the background story. Like if he commented at some newspaper, like the exact same goes, if he commented at the newspaper, then it would be inbound. But now it's just, if you don't know the story, it's outbound. Right? Because he is doing something as a company, he is telling something. Then it would be outbound, right?
Yeah, but he would never have posted that tweet without the whole story.
Yeah, okay.
It's not an outbound marketing message.
If you only see that message.
Yeah, I just show you this now here. The whole story is that he is actually defending his brand. What brand? He himself. And you see that more and more this is happening on the internet, that personal reputation matters. Another example, I think it's the last one. Yeah, this one I really want to show you. Don't run away. Do we still have time? Yeah, don't run away, because at the very end I want to hand out a little assignment, a little text to read from the Harvard Business Review about Pinterest. I want to show you this because there's one thing that is utterly important in the online marketing world. Is viral marketing. Viral marketing, where people, companies, they try to post comments, they try to make post video clips, and they hope that the people who watch are going to distribute it further on. They make use actually of your network instead of setting up their own network, going viral. And this is an excellent example about going viral. Who knew the campaign? It's from a Belgian marketing agency. They do this for Stop the Traffic organization. Sad story, of course, but excellent example for viral marketing, because it has been shown more than 5 million times by now. Is it inbound or outbound marketing? It has been put on YouTube by a marketing agency on behalf of Stop the Traffic. Outbound marketing. That's the data. Inbound, you say?
When if for the second sentence, I thought it's inbound because also the dancing girls are having the same problem. That's why I like
it would be different if, for example, one of these ladies working over there would have put on YouTube
For them, it
to complain, for example, the situation. In this case, it's a professional movie made by professional dancers, supported by a marketing agency. But for a good cause, indeed. Then there's one last thing that I want to hand out to you. We have no time to discuss it right now. Maybe you can do this in the coming weeks with my colleague who will go on with this online marketing course. I made some prints for you, very old-fashioned, on paper, about a small article I found in a Harvard Business Review about the link between offline and online shopping. And one of the excellent examples is Pinterest. Who knows Pinterest? Who's having an account on Pinterest? You do have? Only one? Okay, then for all of us, go to the website, have a look at the article. And I will ask my colleague to let you know if you really want to use the article for a formal assignment or not. Nonetheless, I believe it is of great value for this course. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for popping up that